Okay, y'all. So here we are. Here's my other episode I'm doing today. To get enough episodes done this week that in case I do get rid of the computer I have, which I do have a buyer lined up. Supposedly, they're going to come tomorrow to pick up the computer. I'm just going to have to call Apple, though, and figure out how the hell to factory reset the computer because I thought it was going to be easy and it's not. And I don't know how to do it. But if that person actually comes through and buys this computer, I have a computer lined up on Amazon that I plan on getting, and that should take about maybe a day or two to ship. So I should have enough episodes out that I don't have to worry about anything. But if anything, I would probably miss one day
Mom,
of. Hold on. I don't want that, baby. Thank you. No, I totally forgot what I was saying. Oh, I'll only be missing maybe like one day's worth of an episode, if anything. But as far as Amazon goes, it said if I ordered it now, it would be here by the 17th or something. Or not the 17th, whatever. It'd be here in a day or two. So that's great. I'm just hoping that the guy comes through. And then, will be good. So, today, what we are going to be talking about is trans stuff. Now, I know I had did an episode on this somewhat not too long ago. I didn't dedicate a full episode to it, I don't believe. But it's something that still needs to be talked about. And, me, I usually like to talk about different stories every time I come on. I don't really like to be like the news and other places where they continuously talk about the same thing over and over again. It's just they have different things they interject in it. Like little details are different, but it's still the same thing you've already heard. I don't like doing that, but sometimes I understand now with doing a podcast, sometimes you have to do that because then you have nothing to talk about and then you wouldn't have a show. So, what made me do this today was the fact that a Massachusetts governor, okay, I'm going to read this. This is an actual thing that happened. Governor Maura Healey has appointed a biological male transgender activist to Massachusetts Commission on the Status of Women, a state-run body presenting itself as a voice for women and girls. Really, I'm going to read the rest of it. The move has drawn weathering criticism from faith based groups. They say the state is moving further away from recognizing the biological reality. Healey selected Giselle Bird, a biological man who identifies as a woman, to serve as a commissioner. Bird also works as executive director of Theater Offensive in Boston and has held roles in LGBTQ advocacy organizations. The commission announced the appointment in August alongside another Healey appointee. Commission chairwoman Mary Dith Tuitt praised the new commissioners. These leaders bring fresh perspective to the work of the MCSW with diverse range of personal and professional experience, she said in a release, adding their involvement will only enhance the commission's ability to focus on our mission and agenda to impact change for all women and girls across the Commonwealth. Really? Well, that's just great. You have a man doing this job? You want to change the impact for all women and girls by having a man run this commission? You have got to be fucking kidding me. Like, I don't understand. The Massachusetts Family Institute, a family values public policy group, said appointments show how far the state institutes have drifted from basic understanding of womanhood. Maura Healey appoints biological man to state the commissioner of prominent state-funded women's rights organization, the group wrote in Facebook. It argued this result is the logical conclusion of feminism in Massachusetts society. The Post concluded that the state has rejected God's perfect design for marriage and sexuality and said Bird is wearing the female form like a Halloween costume. Our state thought that when we threw God out of the public square, we'd become more sophisticated and advanced, MFI wrote. Instead, we bought a regressive lie masquerading as progressive truth. The MSCW was created in 1998 and is focused on policy issues involving women and girls. Its mission statement says promotes fundamental freedoms, human rights, and full enjoyment of life for all women and girls. The commission lists gender identity among the categories it protects, which led critics to argue the agency now treats self-identification as more meaningful than biological sex. Healey's decision reflects the direction of the state government, where leadership has increased and aligned with activist groups on gender identity. While supporters frame this as inclusion, critics say that the state has placed ideology over the needs of women and girls, especially in commission created specifically to advocate for them. This is absolutely insane. When is it okay to have biological men take over women things? I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. You are not a woman. What makes you qualified to tell me how a woman is and how a woman feels and how women should be and all this stuff? You can't have kids. You don't have your period. You don't get endometriosis. You don't get menopause. You don't get cysts on your ovaries. Who the fuck are you to tell me anything? These people are have you lost your fucking mind? I mean, for real. This is insane. You got owned, bitch. Insane. The whole thing just makes no sense to me. Why do we keep letting men take over everything? And all these feminists out there, you're a bunch of fucking assholes, because I thought you were supposed to be fighting for women's equality and women to be able to do the same things as men as far as the workforce and getting paid the same and, things like that. Being treated with respect, not being sexually harassed in the workplace and all that kind of stuff, not being groped by men and looked at as, just a common piece of ass, things like that. That's what I thought you fought for. You want to say, oh, men are bad, oh, blah, blah, this and that. Yet you're okay with a man being in a position that should have been for a woman. As a feminist, that should piss you off. This guy, pretending to be something he's not, gets this job over an actual woman, but yet you'll scream feminism. How is that fair? He is biologically a fucking man. When he dies and they find his fucking bones, it's not going to say, oh, he was transgender. No, they're going to say this was a 45-year-old male, and that's it. They're not going to know that you were transgender or non-binary or whatever bullshit when they dig you up. Your DNA and everything says you're a fucking man. No matter how many surgeries you fucking get, You are a goddamn man. And that is the end of the story. I don't have a problem with you doing you. You want to dress the way you want to dress and think you're a woman. That's fine. But don't thrust that shit upon me and make me feel like I have to change my belief and science for you and your feelings. Because science is science. You're a dude, and that's it. You know, you can get the whole surgery and you look like a woman and maybe nobody could tell. That's fine. I have no problem calling you a woman, if you do whatever. Does it mean you actually are? No. Could you pass for one? Maybe, but a lot of these motherfuckers don't pass. They don't pass for women at all. They just say, I'm a woman. And that's ridiculous. And then they think they can go in a woman's bathroom and they have a dick. No, absolutely not. There are plenty of normal trans people out there with logic that say no matter what they did to themselves, they are still men. And they know that. I actually follow them on fucking TikTok. They actually hate the trans people that sit there and act like they're like, I'm a woman and you're disrespecting me because I'm a woman and all this other shit. And they're like, dude, no, you're not. Who cares? If that person calls you a man, all right, fine, keep going, move it. You are. But it's like you're called trans women because you're not women. That's why you say trans. But it's like they want to completely get rid of that word and just be women. And that isn't right. I mean, there are trans men out there, and I never hear anything about a trans man who used to be a woman that is now a man. They're not out there going, we want to be in men's sports and we want to be on the cover of fucking GQ magazine and fucking we want men of the year awards and we want, all. They're not doing that. As a matter of fact, it's almost hard to believe trans men even exist because you don't hear any fucking thing about them. I see more shit about trans women than I see about trans men. Is it just because there's less of them? Maybe not. Maybe there aren't as many trans men as there are trans women. I don't know. But this is getting ridiculous. Now I want to get to my favorite thing that I found here. Dylan Mulvaney, Woman of the Year. He got Woman of the fucking Year. He is a goddamn man. And he was a boy for a while. And he tried to get into showbiz and nothing worked out for him. Being a man, it just wasn't working out for him. Nobody gave a fuck about him when he was a man. So then he decided, oh, I'm gonna be a woman. And then all of a sudden he got all this fame and fucking ruined Budweiser and all kinds of shit. Sorry, I dropped something. And he got, he got all kinds of backlash with that because people were boycotting Budweiser because of that. I mean, shit, even my uncle who loves Budweiser boycotted it, hasn't drank it fucking since. I don't think I've seen Budweiser in this fridge in a long fucking time, even though they backpedaled on that and switched that up real quick. But that was yet another woman's idea to do something like that. Just like it was a woman's idea to change the Crackle Barrel logo, and then they had to go back to the original because people didn't fucking like it. Women need to stop. Why are you okay with men being celebrated as women? They're not women. I'm going to do this early. I am going to put my email up here, and I want anyone to tell me what the fuck a woman is. And I don't want you to say, well, a woman is a social construct, or a woman is a woman, or your word salad bullshit. No, You tell me what a woman is. If you need to, look it up in the fucking dictionary and write me the dictionary term so that I know you understand what the fuck a woman is, because this is absolutely ridiculous. He got woman of the year. Why? When there are millions of women out there that deserve that spot. Shit. I'm woman of the year. You know what the fuck I've been through? I've been through heartbreaks, ups and downs. I was a drug addict at one point, hit rock bottom, became a mother, lost my kid, got my kid back, fought tooth and nail to get my kid back, and I did it. Then fucking lost my husband, got him back, had another baby, then lost him because he got back on drugs. And I was like, get the fuck out of my house. You're not staying here anymore because I'm not losing my fucking kids because of you. Get the fuck out. He got the fuck out. He completely deserted us, fucking gives us no kind of money, no financial help, doesn't talk to his children. I raise these two kids every fucking day. I do whatever I need to do for them. I make sure they have the best Christmases they can have. I make sure we celebrate all the holidays, and I buy them the best Halloween costumes I can fucking find. Why am I not woman of the fucking year? I've been through hell and back. Yet this motherfucker hasn't been through shit, has done nothing to deserve being woman of the year. So this says, after gaining Attitude magazine's first ever Woman of the Year award, U.S. trans activist Dylan Mulvaney said receiving such recognition from UK-based LGBTQ publication means so much more after a substantial transphobic backlash undermined her Bud Light advertisement. Yeah, because men drink Bud Light and men don't want that bullshit. They're not fucking trying to buy Bud Light when there's a fucking man, trans fucking woman fucking trying to sell them Bud Light. No, they want a sexy fucking girl selling Bud Light. They like, what the fuck? They don't want fucking that. No matter how hard I try, or what I wear, or what I say, or what surgeries I get, I will never reach an acceptable version of womanhood by those hateful people's standards, Mulvaney said. That showed her accepting the award this week. But as long as I have the queer community that sees me for my truth, I'm gonna be okay. Mulvaney attracted a following on social media platform TikTok by documenting her journey as a trans woman, her reflections coming out, building a new wardrobe, and undertaking gender affirming care. Her 365 Days of Girlhood videos resulted in 2 collaborations with Bud Light. The first went unnoticed, the second, a 60-second social media video on April 1st, tagged Bud Light partner that showed her sipping a beer in a bubble bath, sparkled with a wave of ire from political conservatives in the U.S. A boycott organized by the right wingers against Bud Light drove sales down 27% year on year as of September. The brand lost its place in the U.S. beer market's top seller. Bud Light's owner, Anheuser-Busch, sought to distance itself from the partnership with the Mulvaney, saying the promotion was drummed up by an outside agency without management awareness or actually, you know what? I wanna do something.
For a company to hire a trans person and then publicly stand by them is the worst, in my opinion. That's not hiring a trans person at all. Trans people like beer too. When she thinks about what the transphobic press and social media trolls have forced Mulvaney to endure as she pursued the basic right to exist. She was born to be. Some see me as the woman of the year. Some see me as a woman of the year, as I only publicly came out online 560 days ago. Some people don't see me as a woman at all, which is why receiving this honor from a queer publication like Attitude means so much to me.
Okay. So I'm sorry. I had to change the voice because I wanted to read that as her, or what I think she friggin' sounds like. So yeah. She, like, I mean, what do you say to that? I mean, just come on. Shit. Son. What do you say to that? It is a bunch of bullshit, and I am so sick and tired of the bullshit. And nobody says it better than Charlie Kirk. And here is one of his videos on this.
So, trans women are not women. Do you agree with that? I would say that trans women are women because people that exist under the category of women, people that exist under the category of men, are still human. So that category, how is that defined? Well, I wouldn't limit it to things like genitals or things like chromosomes, which seems like you want to do. What type of genitals would you say I have? So I'm not obsessed with genitals, but I could do a blood sampling right now and I can see exactly what you are because every single one of your trillions of cells are either coded with XX or XY. No matter how much surgery, whatever, I think that you are a man, but you could fool me. You could take hormones. You could play camouflage. Like I could fool you to be Hispanic if I had the right Hollywood makeup director. That doesn't mean that you are the thing, though. But you're going from an objective biological perspective, which we've already talked about with sex. I'm talking about a social construct or a social utility. No. Yeah. So like if we were at a restaurant, right? I'm sitting down at you're a man, and I'm sitting down at the table, and you're telling the waiter, "Hey, I want to go sit with blank. What would you use?" With you. He doesn't know my name. Yeah. Well, I'm sitting over there. That guy. Yeah. Yes. Correct. That guy. You're gonna typically use he or him, or you're gonna say that guy, like you just said. Correct. Because you're ascribing the male gender to me based on my and I say I could be an error. Maybe you are a biological woman, and then you correct yourself. Right? Maybe not. So that is exactly what we're trying to say. So the question is that do you think that womanhood can then be assumed just through costume design? It's not costume design. What is it then? It's performative social characteristics. So yes, that's what gender is. Okay, great, got it. So you could, it's like a theater troupe. It's not a theater troupe. So these are social womanhood can be appropriated. No, they're categories. So there's nothing inherent about the chromosomes. There's nothing that correct. Yes. Wow, we disagree. So there's nothing inherent about having a period or being able to give birth or the specific hormonal makeup. In different cultures, we've ascribed that to womanhood. If you go back to other cultures spanning thousands of years, you'll see a difference when it comes to those. Like, for example, the Mayans had plenty of people that were schizophrenic, right? So that means nothing to me, right? Okay, so, we have people that say they're hearing things from God. Would you say that's schizophrenic? Well, not necessarily. It built Western civilization and common law and due process and individual rights. I just wanted to hear that your priority. Defense of the unborn and the greatest civilization ever. You know, that voice from God, the greatest nation ever to exist in the history of the world. That's okay. Fine. I think the Mayans would say the same thing. That's the problem with presuppositional arguments. Yeah, let's go down. That you could say anything. Can we go visit? I mean, God's telling me right now that you're a fish. Do you think that's real? We go visit the Mayan nation. They didn't last that long, did they? Yeah, over killing and violence, and you can justify that if you like. You mean all the?
So you see how hard these people fight for this? Now that was a man, just a regular man, and he's fighting for this thing. Oh, if you're gonna tell me it sells and it is. It is. What's so offending to me about it is the fact that you think you can just throw on a wig, put on fake nails, wear some girly clothes, and throw on heels, and then grab your fucking Hermes bag and throw on some jewelry, put on your makeup, and you're a fucking woman. Like, that's all a woman is that. Women are so much fucking more than that. Women, hold on. Okay.
Wait,
Here.
let me see if I
Can you get out?
hook or chef.
Okay. So, that's all they think women is. Women are more than that. And your chromosomes are what you are. They're either X or XY. I always get them confused when it comes to women, but I believe we're XX. And that's it. It's not going to change. Just because you wear a dress and you may pass as a woman doesn't mean you are one. I mean, if you were a real woman, you wouldn't have to tell a guy you're dating or a guy that comes up to you that likes you that may not know that you're trans, you have to tell him, I just have to let you know that I'm trans. Real women don't have to do that. So the problem that we're having with the trans community is not that they want to be women. We don't care, whatever. You want to live in some fantasy fucking world, that's fine. But stop trying to shove it down everybody's fucking throat like we're supposed to fucking just, it's your world and we just live in it. Stop trying to make people feel like they're fucking crazy or they're transphobic or whatever. No, the problem that they're having is that they do not want to deal with the bullshit. You want to force us to call you something we don't want to call you. You want to force your way into women's sports. You want to force your way into the women's bathroom. You want to force your way into Woman of the Year and do Ulta commercials for makeup. What's next? A tampon commercial? I mean, come the fuck on. You're shoving it in our face, and you're men, and you're taking away jobs for women. You want to be trans? Make up your own shit. Make up a trans fucking sports team that you can have a bunch of trans fucking women and men play on. Instead of bitching about the bathroom, why don't you ask for your own separate bathroom? Say, we don't want to use the women's bathroom because it makes the women feel uncomfortable. We'd like it if you could devote a bathroom to us. Call it a unisex bathroom. This way, anybody trans, whether you're a trans man or a trans woman, you can fucking go in the bathroom. How about that? How about have trans of the year? And there you go. Stop trying to take things away from fucking women. That's the problem we're having. It's not that you want to be a fucking woman. It's the fact that you are literally taking our shit away and you're not a fucking woman. You're not. You will never be. And then you want to go, cis women. Don't you dare. I swear to fucking God, it would be the last day in hell if a fucking trans person said some shit to me and called me a cis woman. I would fucking I'd be like, yo, you wanna be a woman so bad? I'm gonna show you how a woman is gonna fuck you up right now. Don't you ever call me a cis woman. I am a woman. I have birthed 2 children, okay? I get my period every fucking month. And I'm on the verge of getting fucking menopause. My weight fluctuates up and down, up and down, up and down. I got a lot of shit to fucking deal with as a woman. Don't you fucking call me cis woman. I don't need no word before woman. I am a woman. You are trans because you're not a woman. I am a woman. So why do you need to put cis in front of it? Because like what? It's hard to distinguish between you and me. Fuck you. And this is probably the best Charlie Kirk thing that I've seen in a while.
Trans people won't stop going into female locker rooms and stealing female medals and then penalizing people for not using the right pronouns. We are fine with live and let live. The trans alphabet mafia, they want to say live and let us rule. You must use our pronouns. You must allow us into your locker room. You must allow us into your sporting competition. If not, you're a bigot and we're going to penalize you.
Yep.
I don't care if you want to go wear a dress by yourself. Go ahead, knock yourself out.
Exactly.
But if you're going to force me to use pronouns that aren't true, teach my kids things that are materially or biologically false, then we have a serious problem. And so I guess it's the most important question, and you know it's coming. What is a woman?
So I guess obviously we're going to disagree, like definitionally. A woman is somebody who identifies and performs with what society agrees with as a woman. And it's not a safe world for trans people.
It's not a safe world for those of us that criticize trans people. That's what.
And I disagree with that too. I think everyone should be safe. I don't think that anybody should have any violence shown against them.
Yeah,
I categorically disagree with any violence shown against people. Like all I'm saying is that like these people just want to exist.
Okay.
Now I'm going to show you one more Charlie clip before I get into something a little deeper here. We are going to show Charlie being compassionate because a lot of people misunderstand him and it bothers me. And they're like, oh, he's so hateful. And da-da-da. No, he wasn't. He was not hateful. He didn't hate anybody. He didn't hate transgenders. He didn't hate gay people. He didn't hate black people. He didn't hate anybody. He just spoke the truth. And that is too much for some of you to fucking handle. And it made your brains burst out of your head. But what he said made sense and was true. There's some stuff I thought he was a little too much on. And I was like, oh, and the only thing I thought that on was abortion, as far as raping and incest and stuff like that, where I believe that should be the only time a woman should have the option to get an abortion. But other than that, I don't believe in it. But there are plenty of people who do have their babies, even though they were raped or they have had incestual relationships, and they love their children and their children are great and that's good for them. I just personally would not force them to have children, especially if they did not want them. The only thing I disagreed with Charlie Kirk on, and look at how normal it is to just disagree. You don't have to fucking hate him and wish he died and all this stuff or whatever. Like, okay, you don't agree with that, but maybe you agree with other things. It just all depends. Like, people need to just chill the fuck out. So I'm gonna play this for you.
What does being trans even mean? And is that even a real thing? It means you need therapy. And I have compassion for you. Some people say, oh, Charlie, it's too mean-spirited, all of this. Hold on a second. Time out. You know what's mean-spirited? Erasing womanhood. Acting as if XX chromosomes mean nothing and some freak with XY chromosomes can suddenly become a woman. I heard a 90s song the other day at a restaurant. I was like, wow, I miss that country. It's like immediately I have like a flashback to a country where trans weren't able to do Bud Light commercials. It was a better country back then. I'm sorry, it was. Now, I don't know who the person is on the left. Is the person on the left that came and did the interview with Joe?
I think you covered all.
There you go. Now, what I want to get into is the fact that we have so many people that support this delusion and that don't understand that these are mentally ill people, most of them. Not all of them, but most of them. And most of the time, it's not the people that get the gender affirming care where they literally look like women. They can pass for women. They have vaginas and tits and whatever, and you couldn't tell the difference between me or the trans person standing next to me. The problem is with the people that are not getting that gender affirming care. They're saying they're women and they're really not, and people know they're not, and they get made fun of and all this stuff, whatever. But I think they think they're trans, but they're really not, and they have mental issues and they go through some kind of crazy fucking mind tug of war. I don't know. But trans people have been known to be mass shooters. And I actually have proof of that. There has been at least 5 mass shootings that have happened at the hands of a trans person. And the reason why I bring this up is because you have people like Dylan Mulvaney as Woman of the Year, and you do all this, trans people are so great, blah, blah, blah. But no one ever talks about the bad side of it and what this is doing to people. And it's something that should be stated. It's not something that should go unnoticed. And I think that a lot of these people who think they're trans need help, and they've been thrusted into it by the alphabet mafia and these teachers and the government and all of this stuff, and it fucks them up. Like the shooter who identified as transgender killed 2 children and injured 21 others at a Catholic church and school in Minneapolis on August 20. Some Republican commentators have suggested that transgender individuals have shown patterns of violence or are responsible for many of the mass shootings in the U.S. The Trump administration even has reported looked into ways transgender people can be prohibited from purchasing guns, according to a person familiar with the matter cited by the Associated Press. I think that's a good idea. I don't think they should be able to own guns because you say, "Oh, well, you have to have a mental health check and blah blah blah." Well, you obviously have a mental health issue if you think you're a fucking woman when you're really a man. That's a mental health issue. What? That is a mental health issue. So no, you should not be able to own a weapon. Even though most of these people get the weapons from their parents or whatever. So let me scroll through because I don't want to read everything. Okay, and let's see. It says Donald Trump Jr. said in a Fox News interview that he couldn't name a mass shooting in the last year or two in America that wasn't committed by, a transgender lunatic. And moments before he was fatally shot at an outdoor event at Utah Valley University on September 10th, Charlie Kirk, founder of youth political group Turning Point USA, said too many when the audience member asked him if he knew how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years. And then he was shot in the neck. And you could easily say that even though Tyler Robinson wasn't transgender, he gay for sure, because the person he was with was a man, even though he claims he's transgender, but he had no transgender affirming care at all whatsoever. So he was basically sleeping with a man who himself transgender. So you can lump that fucking asshole in with the mass shootings of trans because he waited till Charlie Kirk said too many mass shooters have been trans, and he shot and killed him. In just a couple of years, we'd seen 7 mass shootings involving people of transgender nature who are confused in their gender. 7 in just the last couple of years. That's inordinately high. Okay, let's see. The Gun Violence Arc, an independent organization that tracks gun-related violence in the U.S., defines mass shootings as incidents in where there are a minimum of 4 victims shot, either injured or killed, not including any shooter who may also have been killed or injured in the incident. Under the standard, there were 5,748 mass shootings between January 1st, 2013 and September 15th of 2025. Of that number of incidents, there have been 5 confirmed transgender shooters. The 5 mass shootings in the database with transgender shooting suspects are August shooting in Minneapolis in March of 2023, shooting at a school in Nashville, November 2022 shooting at a gay bar in Colorado Springs, Colorado, May 2019 a shooting in Highland Ranch, Colorado, and in the September of 2018 a shooting in a warehouse in Aberdeen, Maryland. However, Anderson Lee Aldrich, the convicted shooter in Colorado Springs, identified as a non-binary, whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean, according to Aldrich's lawyer. A transgender individual identifies with a gender that does not match their sex assigned at birth, while a non-binary individual identifies as neither exclusively male nor female, while many non-binary individuals identify as transgender. Not all do. Fucking fuck me with a broomstick. You, like, what? What? Oh, I'm non-binary. I'm not a man or a female. What the fuck are you talking about? Are you people fucking, like, what is wrong with you? There is something mentally wrong with you. I'm sorry. There just is. I don't understand it. I've tried to understand it, but at this point, I don't even want to. Like, the non binary thing is so fucking just ridiculous. It makes no sense. No sense at all. Oh, you're not a male or a female? How do you pee? How do you pee? Do you pee standing up with your holding a dick? Or do you pee sitting down and have to wipe your vagina? Because if you are neither, then you don't urinate and do those things. Like, do you hear how crazy what I just said sounded? Doesn't that sound insane? Or like, aren't you like, Candace? What the fuck does that mean? Like, how they pee has anything to do? That's exactly how I feel when somebody's trying to say they're non-binary. It's fucking stupid and it makes no sense. No sense whatsoever. I mean, the trans thing, I can get on a level because they're not saying they're nothing. They're saying they are a woman even though they're a man, or they're a man. That's a woman. But the non-binary thing, that's just absolutely retarded. It's insane. It makes no goddamn sense at all. I don't get it. I do not get it. And no, transgender people should not be able to own firearms. I'm sorry. Like with Jeffree Star, he is the most rational person I've ever met. He dresses as a woman, but he is not a woman, and he knows that, and he says, I am not a woman. I wear makeup, I like to do my hair, my nails, whatever, but I am not a woman. He does not call himself a woman. He knows he's a man. And he doesn't actually call himself gay or anything like that. I mean, he sleeps with men, and I guess he's a male, so, that would make him gay. But he openly talks about it, and I love him. He is so great, and he's a breath of fresh air. And he's like, you people need to get your fucking shit together. Like, stop it. You're not a fucking woman. Get the fuck over it. This non-binary shit is bullshit. Cut it the fuck out. Like, there's two genders, male or female. That is it. Then your fucking pronouns, that shit is stupid. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, he doesn't believe in any of that. And I love Jeffree Star. And if you don't know who he is, you can look him up. Now, if you want to dress as a female, but you're a male, that's fine. And you go in and purchase a gun. He's got tons of guns. But I wouldn't characterize him as having a mental illness because he doesn't think he's a woman. He's not trying to be a woman. He just likes doing his hair and makeup. He owns a makeup company and he has his hands in other business ventures and stuff like that. But he does not see himself as transgender and none of the and all of that stuff. And that's fine. I'm cool with it. Like I said, I follow trans people on my page all the time, but those people are sane. They're like, I know I'm a man, but I like being in woman stuff. I like having long hair and doing my hair. I like dressing up. I like getting my nails done. I feel better when I look this way, but I'm not a woman. I can get on board with that. I'm not saying, and if you misconstrue this podcast, you're a fucking idiot, because I'm not saying I hate trans people. What I'm saying is that trans people need to stop thinking that they are women and that they deserve things that women, real women, deserve more. A fucking man should not be woman of the year when you can't even have a baby or fucking get your period or fucking anything. A man should not be telling me what makeup to buy unless you're Jeffree Star, because he owns his own makeup line and he was a makeup artist. That's different. But you're just a man who has nothing in makeup. You're just famous for being trans, and you're doing Ulta commercials trying to sell me makeup. Get the fuck out of here. I can't wait for there to be a tampon commercial and you have a trans person on TV trying to tell me what's the best tampon to buy. Stop shoving this shit down everybody's fucking throats. Nobody wants to deal with this shit. Nobody. Shit. The LGB, they don't even want any part of this trans shit. They want it to stay LGB. They don't want the T and all the other extra letters that you got added onto that shit. They don't want nothing to do with that. They disagree with that because you're trying to put this shit in kids' schools and in books and shit and trying to influence our children who don't need to know anything about any of that. And you think it's okay. And then you're like, why does everybody hate us? Like, I don't understand. I'm just being me. Shut the fuck up. We don't like when you're trying to indoctrinate our fucking kids and confusing our fucking kids. When our kids can't even go to a movie without asking us questions like, Mom, how did two women have a baby in a fucking Disney movie? Like, come on. It's just ridiculous. This shit does not need to be taught in schools. It does not. No, fucking no. And now we have this stupid ass governor, isn't it the governor of New Jersey? Yeah, the governor of New Jersey. We got this stupid bitch, and she's talking about parents can choose to, have their kids not participate in sex education, but they should. Kids are gonna, have trans education put in there, and basically the parents don't have a say in that. That's gonna be taught regardless. Yeah, bitch, you try it. You fucking try it. Cause you ain't never heard a mom like me. And I will go ape shit if I have to. And I will bring that shit to the school board. I will bring that shit everywhere. I'll put that shit on Fox News. I will have my phone with me and I will film it. I will do whatever the fuck. I will film it on the podcast because I figured out how to get the podcast on my phone. I will create an episode and I will go to the Board of Education and I will film my whole experience and you see how they react to me. The only thing I'd have to do is try to keep my mouth under wraps because they'll kick me out if I start dropping F-bombs. So I'd have to talk, assertively, but just without the cussing. So basically, this shit just needs to stop. You want to be trans? Fine, be trans. But stop trying to take over all our shit. And why don't you fucking do things to help your fucking community and help these other trans fucking psychos and stop them from fucking shooting up schools with kids in it and fucking all kinds of crazy shit? Why don't you do something and start helping those people and figuring out a way to get help for them? Because I feel like you're just selfish and you only give a shit about yourself. I don't know. But the trans shit is gotta go. It is a mental health issue 100%. And it's just, if you're not able to get the gender affirming care where you have a vagina and you have a dick, then you need to just stay a man or stay a woman and don't bother with it. Or you can dress as a woman but say, no, I'm not trans, I just dress as a woman. Or what do they call it? Drag. It's basically drag. Do that. But don't fucking sit there and and say you're a fucking woman and you have a 5 o'clock shadow and you want to use the woman's bathroom and you have a dick and, whatever. You look like, no, stop it. Stop it. It's enough. I've had enough. And those are the people that need fucking the mental health situation looked at. These trans fucking shooters are a problem and nobody wants to talk about that. They all keep that on the hush. But God forbid that was a fucking MAGA Republican that went and shot fucking a bunch of fucking people. It'd be blasted everywhere. Everybody would know about that shit. It'd be the biggest fucking deal you've ever seen and you'd never stop hearing about it. But no, when trans people do it, it's hush hush, hush hush. Like, get the fuck out of here. I'm over it. I'm so over it. I'm done. Like I said, you want to do you, that's fine. But don't try to force your shit on me because I don't want to fucking hear about it. And neither does anybody else. If you can pass for a woman, good for you. You want a fucking cookie? Good for you. You'll never be a woman. You'll never be a woman. Stop trying to take our shine. Stop taking our sports. Stop taking our magazine covers. Stop. You're literally men taking everything away from women. And these feminists are fucking stupid because they shouldn't even want that. They should be like, no, fuck you. I don't care that you think you're a woman. You are a man still, and that's our shit. You can't have that. I don't see what the big deal is about creating your own shit. Why can't you have your own stuff? Make your own magazines. Make your own trans woman of the year. Make your own bathrooms. Make your own sports. Nobody would care if you did it. People might even be like, oh, thank God. Now we don't have to worry about them fucking in our in our locker rooms and in our bathrooms and shit like that. Fight for that. Instead, you just want to take from women. It's not fair. It's not fair. So, anyway, that's a wrap for this episode. I'm going to do some more research for a little bit tonight. I might end up doing another podcast tonight and have it scheduled to release the next whatever day after this one's released. So, we'll see. I gotta find. There was one story I wanted to talk about, but I have to find another story to go with that because the episode won't be long. And I at least like my shows to be anywhere between a half hour and an hour long. And I know I did 1 half-hour podcast the other day. Most of the time, my podcast will be an hour or so. I'm gonna look for some news stories and search up some things. But in the meantime, again, I have the email up. If you have any questions, please email this email and I will answer them for you on the podcast. If you want to debate, put in the subject line, debate, and tell me what you want to debate. And if you get out of control, I will cut the debate. If you're talking over me and you're being an asshole and you're just not, registering anything, I will cut the interview with you. If you want to be a co-host on the show, put co-host in the subject and give me your information and we'll go back and forth. I'll see how I vibe with you, and then I will send you the material that I'm going to be talking about that day so you can get familiar with what I'm going to be talking about and you can find your own stuff, do your own research, and bring up topics that you have and we can work off each other. So that's cool. And it can be about anything. I don't just always talk about politics. Right now I am because that's the most important thing going on. but I will talk about murders and famous people and, all different kinds of stuff. But politics is my main thing that I'm on this for, but I will talk about other things that are newsworthy things to talk about. And I will say what people want to say, but they're afraid to say it, which I am not. So cancel me if you want to, bitch. It ain't gonna work. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys soon.